everybody. My name is Roy Klibber. I was born in 1939 in South Africa. Today, I live in Zurich. During my time in South Africa, the most significant two things that I remember at this moment is the rise and fall of the apartheid government. I also saw the fall of the Berlin Wall and the rise of the internet and a whole new world through that. And I'm here today to share with you my journey. Now, we start with purpose. What is our purpose and how do we get there? How do we take this journey? This journey must be pinned down to a mission. Purpose and mission are often confused, but the mission is actually the practical steps that you must take in order to achieve your dream, your goal, your purpose in life. The first thing to do is to find your voice. The second thing to do is to help others to find their voice. And the third thing to do is to unite our voices together. This, finding my voice, makes me independent. Helping others to find their voice makes you independent. When we clasp hands, we have a tremendous unity of voices and we can go forward. Now this mission of ours needs to be put down to still further things. It's on a journey. We take a long journey to reach the top of that mountain. So to climb this mountain, because somebody once said, I'm not on this earth a chance, I'm here for a purpose, and that purpose is not to shrink into a grain of sand, but to rise into a high mountain. So how do we do this? The way we do this is through this process which Stephen Covey made very famous. We start from dependence as little babies, and sometimes not such little babies, where the language there is you. You must come up for me, you must help me, you must feed me, you must, the government must, somebody else must, until we get to our senses and realize we need to grow up and become independent. And that independence is the character ethic. That's where we get new sense of who we really are. And that language is I. I am now responsible. Now that word responsible is extremely interesting, and if you're going to take this onto yourself, I give you one tip. Make it 100% responsibility. 100%, because then everything slows down in your life. Everything becomes peaceful. There's nobody to blame anybody anymore. Nobody else must come up for me. I come up for myself, and I put all my focus and energy into strengthening my character, finding my identity so that I can go forward. So having found that independence, the next step is interdependence. That is when we work with other people, and the language of this is we. Now don't make this mistake that many people make. They jump from dependence into interdependence, leaving this character ethic out, and that's called manipulation, and we all know what that leads to. Now, these things can be further translated and help me to find my identity, and these are also three things. Today I can say, Roy Klibber, I am exactly this. Bold, daring, and caring. I didn't find this in a book of quotes. This evolved in me over the experiences of life, over battles and hardships, until I discovered the strengths and who I really am and what really ticks with me. And this is what ticks with me: bold, daring, and caring. Give you a little further insight into what these are. Goethe once said, if you can do or you can dream you can do, begin it. That's the key to boldness. Begin it. Because boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. And that's exactly what happens when we take that first step. Take the cork, that's a cork by the way, out of the bottle and let the genie out. Once the genie's out, says the legend, you can never put it back again. And then forever you will be exploring what is your genius. All of us are geniuses when we're born. Little babies are so clever. Until they go to school and they are taught how to conform and they hear many no's and what they should and shouldn't do, and slowly that genius is squashed, is frustrated. But we don't want to do that. The next thing it gives us is power. The power is a fire within, and that we call enthusiasm. Enthusiasm, the root word means fire within or God within. A power beyond ourselves, a power that is beyond animal. Yes, we are animals, evolved over millions of years, but now we are human beings, not animal beings. Animals can't make decisions. The next thing is magic. The magic is also a very practical thing. Magic is simply the power to make a decision. You know, in our human beings, we have something in our brains which animals do not have. Between stimulus and response, there's a gap. A few milliseconds, half a second, couple of seconds, wherein we can stop the knee-jerk reaction and make a responded, sensible, helpful decision to make a better response. That is really where responsibility comes from, the ability to make our own response, not an animal response. And that is why we call it the freedom to make our own response. Boldness gives us genius, power, the enthusiasm that burns within our hearts, magic, so that we can make our own responses and make a big difference in this world. That's as far as boldness. Now my second leg on this tripod of my life, before I go on, I want to show you what boldness is. When I set this up, my grandchild came in and saw a blank piece of paper. Unknown to me, she got straight in to create something. This is what children do. They are not inhibited. This is the genius within children. Just draw, create, make. If I send that to the art gallery in London, they might sell it for a lot of money as modern contemporary art. Who knows? But let's get to daring. That's my second one. Daring is the next step you take. Boldness, you begin it. It's very important to take that first step, but once you've taken that first step, and you find yourself, perhaps even in deep water, it's important to keep swimming, to keep moving, to keep going forward. And I label these the noble seas, the challenge that we have, the courage we need to do it, the courage of our conviction to keep going, to complete the journey, including the extra mile, and to conquer. To conquer means, come what may, we're just going to go forward, like the Roman general did when they landed on the shores of Britain. He told his army to look back and they saw the ships all alike burning. He said, now the ships are burning, I've given that order. There's only one way forward, scale the cliffs, go forward, conquer or die. So that is the power of these noble seas, and that is the essence of being daring to the very end, completing the goal. And caring. This is where my wife and I have this in common. When I asked her what her 3 things is, when Brendan brought this to us, she said immediately, my 3 things are, I am honest, present, and caring. Took me a little longer, but I said, okay, I'm bold, daring, and caring. So while she is honest and present, she keeps me in the present, she helps me to stay on the straight and narrow. When she's a little bit timid, I use my boldness to make her go a bit forward, but we hold our hands with the caring bit. That's our main common goal together. Interesting. I call these the royal arms. Roy is my name, royal stands for king, that's a coincidence, but the essence of this means reach out. Reach out to those in need. Recognize that they need help and give them recognition. Reward them for their efforts. Don't berate them for their foolishness. It's so easy to do that. In order to do this, we need to step into their shoes. That's called empathy. Most people think that's sympathy, of imagining what it would be like if I were in their circumstances. No. Put yourself into the backstage, right out of the picture. Turn around, get in their shoes, and see the world as they see it. Then you'll be able to empathize with them. Then you'll be able to reach out. Then you'll be able to rejoice with them as they proceed and they grow. Finally, to conclude, Invictus is the key word for inspiration. Who has inspired you in life? I've already mentioned de Klerk, Nelson Mandela. There have been many others. Brenda Burchard inspires me. I'd like to read the last verse, recite the last verse of a beautiful poem called Invictus, which Nelson Mandela kept in his breast pocket over his heart, later in his heart, which goes something like this. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And with that, it took him through 26 years of unprecedented perseverance until finally he was released unconditionally. So, my fellow strivers seeking purpose in life, you too have got your 3 key legs of identity. Let's share it together, but each of us in our own canoe. We'll sail together over the sea of this world in an armada together. We can always stretch out and help each other. We can always look for each other as we paddle on together. I wish you well. See you on the village green. Till then, be bold, be daring, be caring. Cheers.